The legislative session has ended for 2019, but there are still big-ticket items that remain unresolved. Despite over 200 bills being passed during the session, no concrete plan was approved for property tax relief. And Senator Mike Moser discusses why he believes the proposal from Senators Mike Groene and Lou Ann Linehan fell through.
I think that Linehan and Groene's proposal was really complicated, and they had spent a lot of time researching it. They put a lot of work into that. And I think it was just difficult for everybody to buy into because they weren't sure exactly what all those different components was going to do, what the effect of them was going to be. I like the fact that it lowered property tax, obviously, but with all that turmoil and all those people who opposed it, it was still only going to make a small change in property tax. And property taxes aren't off by a little bit, they're off by a whole lot. And so it's probably going to take something a little bolder to get enough people to sign on to it.
Another bill that did not pass was a new business incentives program, which was known as the Imagine Act, with senators falling 3 votes shy of stopping a filibuster. Moser, who voted to advance the program, believes that the close proximity of the incentives bill and the property tax bill caused some disconnect among the legislature.
Some people were apprehensive about supporting the business incentives because they thought it's going to cost a lot of money. They were afraid that the property tax bill might somehow cost money. The people who voted against the property tax relief bill made some of the senators mad, and they didn't want to support the business incentives. You know, I was kind of torn because Columbus has a lot of industry, and we get a lot of businesses who want to expand in Columbus, so we get some incentive monies here.
The session also ended 5 days early. So earlier this week, Governor Pete Ricketts vetoed 2 bills without any opposition from the legislature. But Moser says that the unicameral knew the risk that it was taking by ending the session before the governor could approve the bills.
So we approved those bills at the last minute, and so we were kind of exposing ourselves to the possibility of being vetoed and then not being able to override them. And that's his prerogative. You know, he overlooks what we do, and his opinion counts. If we wanted to have bills that we had a chance to override, then we should have approved it sooner so that we had time to look at it in the calendar.
Moser says that going forward, the legislature needs to focus on controlling its spending and on avoiding a logjam of bills so that the most important items, such as a property tax relief plan and a business incentives program, can be passed through.
I would rather we spend less, pass fewer laws. I only entered 1 bill and it passed. Some of the senators entered 40 or 50 bills. It takes up so much time having hearings for all those bills. If we'd spend more time on 1/10 of that many bills and do them right, I think we'd be better off. There's no shortage of problems. You know, we have poverty, we have mental health issues, we have all kinds of problems to solve. But we already spend $1.75 billion on HHS bills. And one of the senators said from the floor that people are dying because we're not spending enough money on HHS. Well, it's 35% of the budget now, $1.75 billion. So what number would be right? You need to be able to balance your budget against your expenses. And we need to do a better job at spending that $1.75 billion rather than just giving more money to the same programs that seemingly, in some people's eyes, are not working. We need to work on property tax, and we do need to have some kind of a business incentive program. I hope that we don't have a log jam of bills to consider, because it's just really tough to do a good job when you're trying to consider that many bills.
Reporting in Columbus, I'm Alex Loroff, News Channel Nebraska.